Kwabena Mintah Akandoh is ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament. He joins us on the line. Well, Mr. Akandoh, your caucus has for the past days been putting pressure on the health minister to provide answers on the current situation of vaccines in the country. Today, he's been able to provide some explanations. Will you say that these explanations satisfy you as a caucus?
So thank you very much for having me. And let me speak to that. I have listened to portions of this explanation, and it's empty, it's disappointing, and I'm very sad as a Ghanaian, to say the least. In his attempt to hurriedly come and respond to our demand for him to make vaccines available, I think he has made a mess of himself. I heard you say that he has assured the good people of this country that he's going to make vaccines available. That is not true, because there are no timelines. And one thing we must all know is that this is an emergency issue. It looks as if government is joking with the lives of the future leaders of this country. Okay? Especially so when monies allocated for that purpose has been released. Especially so when he, the minister himself, the president, the vice president, all had their children immunized, and somebody created that opportunity for them, including their grandchildren. In fact, under some jurisdictions, this is a crime. To look aloof, to allow shortage of vaccines in the country, and come and give us this explanation. I was hoping to hear at the end of the long submission that, ladies and gentlemen, we have taken delivery of some vaccines, and therefore tomorrow we are going to do the distribution of the vaccines to the length and breadth of this country. Now the minister cannot tell us when. And that is, to me, that is the most important aspect when we are getting vaccines in this country. And don't forget that vaccines are not any ordinary medications where people can walk to the pharmacy shop and buy it over the counter. Please, this is a serious matter, and the minister must stop joking. The lives of vulnerable children in this country are at stake. The outbreak of measles started somewhere in 2022 October, 4 months ago. And now we are again blaming the shortage of vaccines on COVID. I cannot simply imagine this. We are thinking about building cathedrals in this country. We cannot afford vaccines. If indeed we have money, why are we not? And in fact, let me tell you something. If we are in any serious jurisdiction, what we should be thinking about is that the key planning about the procurement of vaccines and its deployment is that we plan in advance. You don't wait till you need the vaccines before you plan. So, for example, we should have been thinking and planning about vaccines for 2023 in 2022. And once we have the shortages in 2022, what it means is that we fail to plan in 2021. That's what it is. I do not think that the minister himself understands what he was saying, because there was no substance. Where is the vaccine?
Well, Mr. Akandoh, one of the fundamental issues you've actually raised is that the minister actually failed to provide clear timelines as to when we are going to get, vaccines in the country. In fact, he just said that efforts are being made within few weeks, all things being equal, vaccines will arrive in the country. We're actually looking for a clear timeline. But then also, do you get a sense, did the minister paint a picture clearly of what actually the situation is for us as a country? Did you get that?
No, he didn't say anything. No. The statement was hollow, was empty. There was no substance. The minister didn't even give us a breakdown. If indeed he's on top of his briefs or issues, the minister should have told us when the outbreak started, which districts we have recorded cases, how many we have now, the plans they are taking to, provide the vaccines, when it will be available, the strategies for deployment. That is when we'll be saying that you're on top of issues. But you see, it is the pressure that is coming to bear on him that is smoking him out to come and respond to these issues. But unfortunately, he's making a mess of himself. That's why I'm very sad as a Ghanaian. Very, very, very sad. This is a very serious issue, and everybody's at stake. Every child from 0 to 5 years in this country is at a very high risk. Very, very high risk. And let me tell you one thing. You know, we have about 13 diseases that, attack children in this country or every part of the world, and therefore we provide vaccines for these diseases. Now, out of the 13, Gavi is co-financing about 10 out of the 13. We as a country, we are supposed to finance 3 out of the 13. Now, you are telling me that it is only those 3 that, because of COVID, you are not getting in any part of this country. What about the others that are available? Does it make sense? Do they think, we don't have any brains in our head? They should stop provoking anybody in this country. They should stop it. They should provide us with the vaccines. And we're not going to stop. We're not going to end there, not until they make vaccines available. We will continue to put pressure. The minister,
how are you going to do that?
Yes, the minister, today, I told him in the face that if he refuses to address Parliament, I will address the press. I told him. And I have told him again that he must appear before our committee on the 9th of this month. I think today is 7th. So on the 9th, he must appear before the Parliamentary Select Committee on the Health and then come and provide tangible, reasonable measures as clearly outlined. As for what he did today, I was just looking at it on the screen and I was just laughing in my office. Just laughing.
But he was expected to be in Parliament today to provide... Mr. Akandoh, yeah.
Yes, at a point in time when I was listening to what he said was that I have alluded to the fact that about 72 million Ghana cedis has been made available to him for the procurement of the vaccines, and therefore he was taking the media through how much has been released, and that it has come to 71.8 million Ghana cedis. And so he says that how can 71.8 million Ghana cedis be compared to 72? Really? This is our Minister for Health? Oh my God. It's not a joke. It's a very serious matter. So you should be ready for the worst things to happen.
Well, as he prepares to be ready for the worst, I'm just curious. Today he was expected to be in Parliament to provide answers, but that didn't happen, and you are still insisting.
I'm telling you the reason why he has come to address the press today. He didn't make up his mind to come and address the press or the country today. He was supposed to appear. In fact, there was a question on the floor of the House, and he opted to read a statement. I said, no problem. Read a statement. We'll all take the issues one after the other on the floor of the House. I don't have a problem. When I realized that he was not going to address the House, I addressed the press. So ask the representatives in Parliament. I addressed the press and outlined the issues. And so because he knew that those stories or those issues were going to run in the media, he hurriedly organized the press to address the country. And unfortunately, I think that anybody who advised him on what he said has done him a great disservice.
So is your next line of action going to be that you are going to...
Before the committee, if he's listening to me.
And are you going to issue a subpoena this time around?
Before the committee.
Well, be as it may, today, in your view, as you indicate, the minister has failed to provide clear timelines and also the real situation as far as the... So what option is left for us as a country, looking at how, in your view, the minister has handled this whole situation?
He has failed. You see, for the past 4 months, okay, if you had any responsible government, at least 4 months, even if the vaccines were crawling in any part of the country, it would have arrived in Ghana. 4 months. In October 29th or so, October That is when the first case was recorded in Bushegu, in the northern part of the country. Now it is fast spreading. He has no solution. We will force him to have solution. He must have solution. Especially, okay, let me agree that we don't owe anybody. We have even paid our money. Where is the vaccine? Where is the vaccine?
Well,
why is it that only these 3 vaccines are in short supply and that COVID didn't affect the other 10 vaccines that Gavi is supplying? Why? Or those vaccines are not being produced anywhere in the world. They are produced on Jupiter. I think let's get serious in this country.
Mr. Akandoh, I'm also aware that you've heard the minister explain as to the amount allocated, that's 72 million Ghana cedis for the procurement of vaccines. He provided some explanation.
According to his mathematics, he says that, he has admitted, I was looking at him on the screen. He says that, and he gave the batches, the tranches in which the payments were made. He indicated June, how much was paid in June. He indicated how much was paid in October. He indicated how much was paid in November. And then the last tranche was paid in December. As far as he is concerned, he has not taken 72 million Ghana has not been released. But what has been released is 71.8 million Ghana. Can you imagine? And so there's no way you can compare 71.8 million Ghana cedis to 72 million Ghana cedis. And this is supposed to be an explanation why we shouldn't have vaccines in this country. And that we should listen to that reasonable, in quote, reasonable explanation. Please, 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 with the greatest deal of respect, please.
So in the coming days, what are we to expect from your caucus?
I am saying that as far as we are concerned, I am a member of Parliament, ranking member of the Parliamentary Select Committee. I have some tools available at my disposal. And these are the tools I am using. You recall that somewhere last week, he was supposed to appear before the committee. He refused to appear. We compelled him, and he sent a delegation to appear, including the National Health Insurance Authority, and they didn't make sense before the committee. We asked them to go and bring their minister. And today, too, I thought that I was going to, get some responses from his first encounter. But unfortunately, he sounded like somebody without a solution to this particular, outbreak or emergency issue.
So if you say he has no solutions for this particular crisis currently before us, will you also subscribe to calls? Mr. Akandoh, let me please finish my question.
Go ahead.
Will you then subscribe to calls that the health minister should be shown the exit because of his poor management of the health situation of the country?
It's long overdue. Long overdue. In fact, if the president was any serious president, immediately the minister indicated that at the time of COVID, he was not thinking right. That was when he should have been shown the exit. In any serious jurisdiction, he won't spend more than a second in the office. In fact, if he has any conscience, by this time he would have resigned. People are getting infected and they are in critical conditions, and you are there happy saying that we have not recorded death, and so what? What leads to death? Should we sit down until somebody dies before we raise issues? Please. The last, as he himself rightly said, the last time we recorded death in measles was 2023.
2003, you mean?
Yeah. It was 2003, sorry. 2003. That's how we fought these killer diseases. We have achieved not less than 95% coverage. Now, we are come to read all the success stories through. What sort of person are you? So, you are saying that we don't owe. I agree. If we don't owe, then we don't have a reason to have shortage of vaccines in this country, especially when Gavi is supplying. And let me also tell you this. Gavi, and the minister himself has ever briefed us as a committee on it. Gavi is saying that because Ghana is a middle income status, they are going to withdraw from co-financing the other 10. And therefore, we are going to, finance all the 13 ourselves. Now, if we cannot sponsor 3, can you imagine what will happen if Gavi withdraws. Can you imagine? And let the minister come and tell me what I'm saying is not true. Let the minister come and tell me what I'm saying is not true. He himself, at a point in time, agreed that Gavi is considering withdrawing from supplying or co-financing our vaccines in this country. So, please, the long and short of the story is that we need vaccines. Why are the vaccines? The stories are not vaccines. We need vaccines so that the babies who are born, in fact, those who have been born for the past, 4 months and have been taken away from the health facilities, only God knows how we'll be able to reach them, even if we begin to have vaccines tomorrow.
This issue you raised, Mr. Akandoh, the minister actually disputed that. He said that plans are underway with Gavi to ensure that more vaccines are delivered, and it's not true that they are planning to withdraw the supply of some of these vaccines.
Surprised, and I will never and ever take this minister serious if indeed he said this. Because he himself. In fact, he even made a similar comment when we were looking at the vaccine bill. He made a similar comment when he was trying to convince us the need for the establishment of the vaccine institute. That was one of the arguments he made, that Gavi is looking at withdrawing and therefore we should get to a point where we can produce our own. I've made this argument several times. I know I can get him on record even in Parliament. He should not forget that whatever he says can be on record. And I even believe that some of you may even have his recordings on this one. It's an argument he makes often. It's an argument he makes often. So I will be very surprised if indeed he said that.
Well, it's good you've mentioned the National Vaccine Institute. I just want to find out from you if that institute has a role to play as far as the issue of vaccine shortage is concerned. Do you think the time is ripe for us?
As far as I am concerned and as far as I know, we don't produce any vaccine in this country. Not a single one. It's Atlantic Health Sciences who are trying to do some snake serum or something of that nature. But as far as I know, these vaccines we are talking about at the moment, including vaccines for COVID, none is produced in Ghana for now. But we have passed the bill into an act.
All right. It's a serious one there, but I want to leave it here. Thank you so much.
It's a very serious one that I think and let me congratulate you for showing so much interest in this matter, Citi FM. I think you've done so well. I've spoken to you a number of times on this matter, and that is what I expect of everybody. Everybody is at risk at this point in time. Please, especially when Burkina Faso is unstable and mothers are coming into Ghana with their babies, and there's no way we can screen them to know whether or not they have been vaccinated. It's a very serious matter. Very, very serious matter.
Thank you also for being vocal in this fight, and that anytime we call on you, you make yourself available to provide us with some answers. But thank you. That's Kwabena Mintah Akandoh. He is ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament